Welcome to CSL TV, and I just hope you guys are having a beautiful, blessed day. Now this is a new year, hopefully a lot of good things happen for people who's been trying and applying and all that great pressure. But anyway, this is just a review and reaction as well as an informational channel. So with that being said, hopefully the informational part help you and someone out, and we pretty much just gonna watch the videos, the news type shit, and see what's going on in this world that we gotta share this world with. Other than that, I just want to thank the folks that's been watching me, rocking with me, all that good stuff, because it's free to subscribe, like, and comment. I mean, why not? You have a beautiful, blessed day. Let's get it.
A renowned beauty influencer was murdered in cold blood right in front of her young daughter. But what led to this tragic ending in a busy shopping center parking lot? This is 33-year-old Teresa Canchuela, a mother of three and a vibrant beauty entrepreneur known for her House of Glam Hawaii LLC. But Teresa's life, filled with glamour and success, took a dark turn. On a seemingly ordinary Friday morning at Pearl Ridge Center in Waipahu, tragedy struck. That's when her estranged husband, 44-year-old Jason Canchuela, stepped into the scene with fatal intentions. Right in front of their young daughter, Jason shot Teresa in the head and then turned the gun on himself. But this wasn't a sudden act of violence. 2 weeks earlier, Teresa got a temporary restraining order against Jason, a move sparked by a history of threatening behavior and suicide threats. Despite this, the worst was yet to come. In the wake of this tragedy, questions arose. Could more have been done? Why weren't Jason's threats taken more seriously? Teresa's mother says the system failed her daughter just like it has with so many others. Every minute, nearly 20 people are physically abused by an intimate partner in the United States, yet many victims remain unprotected by a system struggling to respond effectively. Teresa Canchuela's story is a stark reminder of the devastating consequences of domestic violence and the urgent need for change. As we remember Teresa, let her legacy be a call to action to strengthen our response to domestic abuse and protect those at risk.
Man, my condolences goes out to the kids, just for the simple fact they have to witness this man. I'm not even gonna call him a husband, a father, none of that shit. This man murdered their mother in cold blood for no fucking reason. Now apparently he has some anger problems, and domestic abuse, violence is not tolerated, and I don't understand why the light isn't shining on this more than it's being shined on, Like, we talk about it, the people like us who really care, we talk about it, because there need to be more awareness drawn. Man, so many innocent women, and males too, get in situations like this, but it's mainly targeted towards women. Her children had to see her get killed, and then this man turned the gun on himself. Like, man, it's a cold world, so you gotta be careful. That's crazy. I can't even imagine what them children going through right now. Man, I just gotta say, shout out to Notice News. They got an amazing team over there. And this content right here is why, along with many other victims, is why domestic abuse needs to be talked about more than it's been talked about. More than, because, man, I can't.
Brace yourself for the shocking stories of the scariest inmates who will be released in a few days. Gary Glitter. Born Paul Francis Gadd, Glitter rose to fame in the 1970s as a flamboyant glam rock icon. However, behind the glitz and glamour, a dark secret loomed. In 1999, he was arrested for downloading child pornography. This marked the beginning of his downfall, as the public learned of the disturbing depths to which he had sunk. The charges against him were not limited to mere possession, as he faced further accusations of sexually abusing underage girls in 2006. The weight of his crimes was reflected in the severity of his sentence, 16 years in prison. However, in 2023, he was granted release, only for it to be short-lived. Glitter violated the terms of his release conditions. Leslie Van Houten. Leslie Van Houten, a name that sends shivers down the spine, was once a member of the notorious Manson family, a cult led by the infamous Charles Manson. On August 8, 1969, Leslie, along with other members of the Manson family, carried out a series of brutal murders that shocked the nation. Among their victims was the beautiful and talented actress Sharon Tate, who was 8 months pregnant at the time. In 1971, she was found guilty of murder and sentenced to death. However, her sentence was later commuted to life imprisonment when the death penalty was temporarily abolished in California. After decades of legal battles and parole hearings, Leslie was finally granted parole in 2023. Jeffrey MacDonald. Born in New York, MacDonald displayed exceptional intelligence and ambition from a young age. With a promising future ahead of him, he excelled academically and pursued a career in medicine, aimed to make a difference in the world. In a horrifying turn of events in 1970, his wife and 2 young daughters were brutally murdered. MacDonald himself was injured in the attack, becoming both a victim and the prime suspect in a case that would captivate the nation. He was sentenced to 3 consecutive life terms in prison. Despite his continued claims of innocence, MacDonald's parole requests have been denied, leaving him to serve his life sentence in prison. Here's the thing. If MacDonald admits to his crimes, which is something he's not likely to do, he might have a shot at getting out on parole this year. But that seems quite unlikely, as he said, "If it takes me saying, 'I killed my family for me to go home, I'm never going home.'" Gypsy Rose. In The Twisted Tale of Manipulation and Abuse, the story of Gypsy Rose Blanchard unfolds. From the outside, Gypsy's life seemed like a tragic tale of a young girl battling numerous medical conditions. She was confined to a wheelchair, had a feeding tube, and was dependent on her mother for her every need. But behind closed doors, a different story was unfolding. Gypsy and her boyfriend Nicholas murdered her mother, Dee Dee, in an attempt to escape from her mother's clutch. In 2016, she was sentenced to 10 years in prison. As she is due for release soon, only time will tell what will become of her. Kathleen Folbig. In the annals of Australia's criminal history, one name stands out as the country's most reviled female serial killer, Kathleen Folbig. Born on June 14, 1967, Kathleen's life took a dark and tragic turn, marked by a series of devastating deaths within her own family. Kathleen's troubled past began when she was orphaned at a young age, leaving her with a deep sense of loss and abandonment. In 2003, Kathleen stood trial for the murder of her children. She was sentenced to a minimum of 25 years for the murders. In 2023, after spending 2 decades behind bars, Kathleen's fight for justice took a dramatic turn. She was granted a full pardon and released from prison. Yolanda Saldivar. In the world of music, fame and tragedy often go hand in hand. Such was the case with rising Tejano music sensation Selena Quintanilla Perez and the woman who would forever be associated with her untimely demise, Yolanda Saldivar. Yolanda started a fan club for the talented singer and eventually became influential in her professional affairs, managing Selena's clothing boutiques. However, it was discovered that Yolanda had been secretly embezzling money for her personal gain. When Yelena confronted her, Yolanda shot and killed her. Yolanda was sentenced to life imprisonment with the possibility of parole in 30 years. As Yolanda's parole hearing approaches in 2025, the question of whether she should be granted parole looms large.